Good morning, everyone. David Paul speaking. Welcome. It's 20 past 10 on the 26th of June, Friday, 26th of June. I'm looking at VectorVest USA, and a very good day on VectorVest USA yesterday. As you can see, the advance is well above the declines, and markets found a very important area of support after a very dodgy couple of days. The underlying trend on VectorVest US is still down, so the old color guard at the top is still neutral, so VectorVest does advocate buying stocks at this time. Everything else is still up. So before you re-enter the party, folks, just wait for the color guard, the little pointer, to be in the green. That means that the short-term trend, or the primary wave, is now pointing in the same direction as the longer-term trends, and that normally results in trades that go your way relatively quickly. So let's just do what the thing tells us to do. Let's have a quick gander at the VectorVest composite of the US, and that is a composite indicator of all of the shares that we follow in the US, some 8,000 odd shares. I've superimposed the DEW market timing system on here, which is the system of market timing that I've been using in this campaign on both sides of the Atlantic. And that was the last buy signal. That was on the 6th of April. Not an easy signal to take, but as I keep saying, the good trade is always the hard trade, not intellectually difficult, emotionally difficult. And there was an awful lot of angst in the air in the first few days of April. Markets have moved up solidly since that. Yesterday afternoon, we found very strong support, and it's hard to believe in this modern day and age that a trend line that's drawn between a few points can offer support, but I assure you that it does. So there was trend line support there. For those of you that are fib analysts, that was also a 62% retracement of that last little range. And that all came together. It's something that I teach in the Q&A talks on Monday afternoon to the VectorVest people about confluences of support. I think, folks, that there can easily, and I'm always probably overly optimistic, I know, but there can easily be a little triangle at work here, and if we were to push through that triangle, then we can push quite a bit higher. Don't do anything until the color guard in VectorVest says that it's okay to buy. But we were on a knife edge situation yesterday at that support level, but that's not strange. We were on the same situation 2 weeks ago. We were on the same situation way back here when the S&P was at 2,777 from memory. So in this last little treble top where the market sat, there also was a Fibonacci level in there. That was a 62% of the previous range. As you can see, in that period the buy-sell ratio fell, so that wasn't good. That was a negative. So let's see if this support can hold. I'm still holding my positions, and I'll say it once again, folks, that if we were to get one of these red signals here, that signal needs to be taken very seriously indeed. Okay, but for the moment, all is good. Market stopped at support. I keep asking my seminars, why did the market stop there? And there's no really flashy answer to that. The real answer is that that's where the orders were, and big money had anticipated that support level in exactly the same way as I anticipated that support level, and it was bought at that level. So let's do our best to hang into our positions, and let's not open up any new positions until VectorVest gives us the nod. At the same time, just be wary, folks, that this trend could easily be very mature, and a signal from the DEW, which is preceded by these levels of overbought on the MTI and on the buy-sell ratio, invariably that produces a very good signal, in the same way as this signal, which was preceded by mega oversold, was a good signal. So just be very careful, but I would not be at all surprised to see another very strong push up here over the next few days. But those of you that know me will know that I'm always more optimistic than maybe I should be. In the UK, folks, we have a green light, and as I record this at 10:30 now on Friday the 26th, the FTSE's up 70 points the last time I looked from last night's close. Now, the short-term trend in the UK is up, the longer-term trend is up, and VectorVest advocates buying safe undervalued stocks that are rising in price at this time. So let's have a quick gander at the VectorVest market timing chart for the UK, and as you can see, for once over the last week or two, the VectorVest UK index came up and made a double top, whereas the US one refused to do that. Now that's quite strange, and as you can see, folks, this made a little double top here, but the buy-sell ratio couldn't. That's always a worry. The MTI couldn't. That's always a worry, and that's what technical analysts refer to as a bearish normal divergence. This little moving average, among one other tool, defines the DEW market timing signal, which has been up and positive since the 7th of April, one day after the USA. So for the moment, there's a couple of dodgy times that day and that day. Those are dodgy, but all is good here. And as I say, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see another push on the upside. I haven't got a crystal ball, but I always remain positive. The trend is up, and I want to buy support in that trend, and that's what I did yesterday on my S&P trade yesterday afternoon. That was an intraday trade, which is long gone. I should have held it overnight, but I don't hold them overnight. So in the UK, folks, this is Kranz, and we have some very enthusiastic Kranz supporters at VectorVest, in particular a very experienced investor from our Taunton user group. We had a Taunton user group last night, and this is Kranz. It would be, I think, what we would define, this is a 5-year chart, as an earnings per share king. Maybe the price plot is a little more volatile than our champions of earnings per share kings would advocate. Nevertheless, earnings per share is rising without a great deal of volatility. That's good. And the price plot, as you can see, has come back where this resistance has become support, and over the last, it's now sitting at this level. Clearly it broke that level during the stress of the end of February, start of March, but I don't think that's that significant. So I think that this share looks to me at a very, very good level, and in this period, if you were to tuck away a few Kranzwicks at around this level, then I think that that would be a very good investment. So if I do anything, I'm going to add to my Kranzwick investment at this particular level. I think that for those of you that have a short to medium term focus, this trend is in fact becoming very mature, but I wouldn't be at all surprised to see a strong breakup. I think that'll be defined this afternoon. One last chart. This is the SPX, folks, and as you can see, I've got my bars on it. I date myself with the bars. I know I caused some merriment the other evening when I said that when I started to trade, candles hadn't been invented. But as you can see, there's that I think treble top there, and that treble top, if I can blow this up a little bit more, was exactly 62% of this range, and similarly that low was 62% of that range. Now yesterday's low, folks, and this is what I spent quite a bit of time doing. We had this confluence of that support level coming in there, and if I take my old friend Fib, if you like Fib, some people like Fib, some people don't, and that to here, to that high, if I've got it right, I don't think I've quite got it right, is pretty much exactly a confluence of the trend line. I haven't got the trend line particularly right, please excuse me, of the trend line and the 62% retracement, and I was waiting for that yesterday afternoon, and as my dear grandfather used to say, every now and then the blind pig discovers the corn, and markets found support exactly at that level, and we bounced up. So I remain positive, folks, and certainly if we get that green light from the front page of VectorVest, I don't think you need to do anything at all but just wait for that green light. Then I think we can quite easily punch through this level and go a little bit higher. I haven't got a crystal ball. I do my best to rely on what the front page of VectorVest tells me to do. If you found that confluence of support maybe a little bit too much, if you come along to our Q&A sessions on Monday afternoon, I talk you through that, and you can take a trial of VectorVest. It's £5.95. If you go to vectorvest.co.uk, it's £5.95 for a 30-day trial. So folks, I hope you found this useful. I remain optimistic, and I'm holding my positions, and I could be talked to adding to that position in an outstanding little share, fairly defensive share called Kranz. However, if I see a DEW down signal and this support level gives away, and we print that DEW down signal, we need to be very careful indeed. Thanks very much indeed. Bye bye.